Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Paul McCartney 12-inch singles. So if you're going to have 12 inches of Paul, you may as well have two parts of it. Does that make it 24 inches? I suppose it does if it's in two parts. First one is Spies Like Us, with a DJ version, an alternative mix, and a party mix. Spies Like Us. It was for the soundtrack of a certain movie that happened to be called Spies Like Us. A little keyhole and all of that sort of stuff. I suppose if you're going to have the keyhole, you may as well have it open so the guys can see through, and Paul looking like it's a mugshot or something like that. I wonder if that's meant to be a blank page of sheet music. Yes, before he wrote the notes. That could have been the idea. I like it's one of those ones where the song kind of builds up into different sections. I always quite liked that song for that very reason, actually. But on the other side of it, we've got all sorts of stuff here. Got pictures of Paul being Paul, and right in the middle there, got Paul before he rips off his Prince Charles mask. I wonder how many takes he needed to do to achieve that. And that's basically from the video clip to the song there, obviously. It's kind of cute, the penguins hand in hand, and I think that's an ice cream on the other side. You'd hope it's an ice cream. Well, you don't know, because you can't lick it, can you? So just do a licking noise. Oh. Yes, I think that's probably enough of Spying Like Us, isn't it? Next up is Once Upon a Long Ago. I've never been a huge fan of this song, and the extended version did even less for me. And to read the B-side, it's like a little book. But this is one of these ones where he's put his cover versions of some of the oldies there. So we've got our Lordy Miss Claudie going to Kansas City. So yes, Lordy Miss Claudie, here we come, we're going to Kansas City. What would you do if you got there? I don't know, with a name like Lordy Miss Claudie, I suppose there could be a lot of street work. And next up is Paul with His Brave Face. I suppose that does look kind of brave, throwing your glasses out there and showing us that one lens is different colour to the other. And behind them there's Paul in a bowler hat, looking very swish. And of course it's not late 80s without shoulder pads, is it? But this is another one that's like an EP. There's no extended version. On the other side it's got more cover versions of songs. I think a non-album B-side for the things. This was where he was songwriting with Elvis Costello, if memory serves. I was never really a huge fan of the song. Still remember that intro. My brave face. So an extended version of it, I can imagine there could have been one, but Paul obviously chose not to and decided to put these extra tracks on there instead. Lucky last, we've got Blue Fairy playing a flute, as you do, on a swan or a duck or something. Do you reckon that's a nod to the Blue Meanies? Probably isn't. It's probably just to make people wonder whether it's a nod to the Blue Meanies, perhaps. Yeah, that makes sense. I always quite like this cover. Again, this is like an EP, but what Paul's done with this one is, and this is what I like with Paul, is that you do get non-album B-sides out of him. Okay, some of his songs are a little bit, you can understand why they're not on the album, but at least you're still getting some extra songs sort of out of him that might be little surprises too. Not like some artists that would put the same B-side on various releases, like Michael Jackson did, and or the instrumental versions, like Michael Jackson did, and George Michael and those. So I suppose you did at least get something extra. The other thing you also got was the lyrics. So maybe it was a case of this one needed the lyrics as well. Can't quite work out what that's meant to be in the background, whether that's to sort of look like people or something like that, or tulips, or some kind of flower perhaps. It's just, they look really kind of, I don't think I'd want to look at them for too long. I think they'd be nightmare material. Suspect the things that go around the border are stars. So this one has stars as well. And rainbows and all sorts. I think if you looked at that under an ultraviolet light, it might be even more disturbing. Let's see if I can do that, hey? Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah. Oh well. Sort of always nice to have a new perspective on things. And that's everything for the 12 inches. So I'm at the end of my 12 inches. And hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you did, please do all the likes and subscribes and the bells and the whistles and all that sort of thing that causes me to do jazz hands and all that sort of stuff. And I didn't knock any of these off for once. Always a good thing, isn't it? But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please take care of yourself, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Ciao. That still didn't knock him off.